What do you think of it, lads? Brian, we'll go with you first, pal. We'll go with you.
Go on.
Tell me what your thoughts were of the game, mate.
I mean, let's be honest, it was probably the most boring derby in the history of modern day history that I've been watching City.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was dire. There was no attacking attempt by anybody, really. I mean, listen to what Pep said afterwards. I mean, nah, I don't believe you, mate, to be fair. It was just dull. It was just straight up dull. It was just... You wouldn't have thought that we were a team that had a week to prepare for that. Without starting 11. We looked tired, we looked lethargic, out of ideas.
I'm trying to be positive with this, and I'm trying to be positive with this because I don't necessarily think a draw was a bad result for us in the long run. Okay, so I'll probably get shot down a bit for this, but I really don't. I'm well appreciative of we had the capacity to beat United. And with a different game plan, we could have gone ahead and completed United. I just think Pep just played to his game plan. I think this was Pep's game plan fully, to defend, block out their attackers, and hit United on the counter a couple of times. And if we had converted a couple of those chances, we'd be having a completely different conversation now. But it was just so drab and boring, and there was no fight and passion to it. And do you remember the days when Roy Keane and all the rest of it, and red card, Paul Scholes, dirty tackle from Paul Scholes every now and then was a highlight.
Yeah, even going back as far as like Darren Fletcher era and stuff like that, they got stuck in. You know, they give it a bit, and there's just nothing anymore. And I think in terms of that, it's gone, hasn't it? In terms of the derby spirit between two teams, there's not many local lads. Rashford's not exactly up for it, is he?
He doesn't seem the type of person. I mean, I love it. I like Rashford.
Haven't got those sort of fiery personalities in either team, really. I mean, Foden, I wouldn't expect him to be running around the pitch emptying people left, right and centre just for he's not that sort of player, is he?
No, he's not. He's not, pal, you're right. I am disappointed we didn't see Foden. For me, City fan, it would have been absolutely perfect to have a City fan playing, just as we would. I think the game would have been completely different if he would have started. I can understand why he didn't start. Because I think we said ourselves, didn't we? I didn't pick a team with Foden in to start, so I can understand why I didn't. Usama, what was your thoughts on the game, Bal?
I don't think. I think. Is it fair to say that the game was too tactical? I don't know.
I think too tactical is a really good phrase for it. Yeah. No, a really good phrase for it.
Yeah, I think that Pep focused a lot on nullifying the counter attack from United, and he forgot to attack. Was it necessary to play Rodri and Fernandinho?
Well, he's playing that double pivot again, isn't he? And since the defeat at Spurs, we've tried to set up in the traditional 4-3-3 and using that double pivot to protect the isolated defensive midfielder and also just protect our back four as well, which is all well and good. But we need strikers at the other end to put the ball in the net. So if we're going to play this double pivot, we just need to make sure we can capitalise by not having that free-flowing football, by having a target man striker at the end. Dan, how are we doing, pal?
Not too bad, lads. How are you?
Yeah, you woke up from Saturday night?
I'm not giving up drinking, put it that way. Thank God alcohol was made. But I've never seen such a dire performance in my entire life in a derby. It's me that's been banging on about it on the page. I've never seen so much hugging. There's better love stories on there than most people have in 50 years worth of marriage. Well, most people have better love stories than 50 years worth of marriage, but I've never seen anything like it. Even a derby aside, I've never seen a match finish the way it did. Everyone hugging and having a chat. This is City bragging rights. You're supposed to go out there.
100%.
Friendships aside, for 90 minutes, you are sworn enemies. And it's the first time ever I've actually missed a Roy Keane in a United team, because at least he'll be taking the game, albeit for the red side, by the scruff of the neck and taking it to City. But whatever happens to that? Now it's like, oh, we both got a point. That's wonderful. United would be laughing because they were expected to lose that.
I think, like Usama said, I think tactically both teams just set up to nullify each other without anyone taking the ball by the horn. This is a new Pep for us. This is. I wasn't expecting these tactics. I was feeling positive. You know, I didn't do any results, but is Pep? Have we told Pep to learn from the Lyon game? Is that what he's doing? Is he evolving as a manager to defend properly and go on the counter attack?
No, in other words, it is if anything, he's stepped backwards. You know, we finally sorted out the defence. That was the main problem. That was Guardiola's weakness. We could score goals for fun. Defence was the thing that was letting us down, especially last year. This year now, because he's got the defence sorted out, he thinks he can solely rely on the defence and just continue his possession base, stat tactics. But I don't know what's changed about him. It's just he doesn't have the fight for 3 points anymore. Now it's like what Emma said. The tactics just to stop United. Well, you said it before.
Can I add like a devil's advocate to that? I think the way Pep's thinking is he's had his pants pulled down too many times away from home where we've played well and conceded and lost. And he's probably now redeveloping himself as a manager because, let's be honest, he's not ever gone this far into a club project before. So he's looking at it now and thinking, if I can go to the top 4, 6 teams away from home and avoid defeat, a win is a bonus. But if we can come away from there, every single one of those without losing, it's a point gained that will go against maybe a home win. I think that is now his new mentality is we'll go to, especially with what happened at Spurs, go there and make sure we don't lose, you know, and then we build from that because we could quite easily have gone there and we could have been 3-0 after 20 minutes, and then then the defensive tactics just sail through. But priority I think for him now is to go to these places and not get turned over and not have 65% possession and be playing against 10-man defence for an hour, trying to grind them down and concede 1 or 2 on a counter attack. I don't think he wants that anymore. A lot of these top teams like United, 'cause I think he was expecting a lot more from them, which is why he set up like that.
Well, that's why I think he's gone backwards, because I think a lot of us were expecting a lot more from United, but at the same time, the game was there for the taking. And what I mean by Pep's gone backwards is the fact that he is becoming defensive, and I completely agree. He'd rather have a point than lose a point. But at the same time, you've got 2 game-change players to come off on the bench in Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden. No, it was the prime game for them. Someone to take the scruff of the neck in that midfield and play a through ball to Jesus or Sterling. It was there for the taking. And we've gone from a manager who's all-out attacking football. We could have beaten United 4-5-0 on Saturday. It was really there for the taking. But he has become too defensive. I understand the sentiment. I completely understand that. We have lost some weird games. But I think we've lost more now this season because of his new tactics, his new ways, than he would have done if he stuck to his old tactics.
I mean, in a bit of hindsight, looking back now, point is a really good point considering what happened over the weekend. And if more of these weekends happen where we don't lose ground and we don't lose confidence and we keep what we've got and build from that, I don't think in a long run playing that sort of style in the odd game away from home, especially against teams like United have done well. It'll be in his head. United have done well against us for the last 3 years. They've won more than we have, and it won't be lost on him that he's thinking, I don't want to lose again. I don't care. We'll take a 1-0, 0-0. We'll take that, and then we'll scratch it off and go on to the next game. You know, and stop that bad run.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, this, isn't it? Because part of me's thinking, do you know what? Would I prefer to lose and go all guns blazing? I don't think I would anymore. I think this league's just a bit of a bonkers league this year. Anyone can win the league this year. I'm convinced of that after this weekend just gone. So actually, a point away at Old Trafford isn't such a bad one. Is it? It's just the way we played. I'm more disappointed about. I think if it was 3-0, we'd be waxing lyrical about our defence being shocking again.
But at least we would have had a fight. You know, there was no fight. Literally, I think there was more defending. What is it? 1 yellow card each. That's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I think each team had about 1 shot each in each half on target. There's no fight from either team. But City could have easily turned that around if we took Fernandinho off, who I personally feel like should have come off, and put like a Bernardo Silva or Foden on there and turned it. We've now got United on the back foot because the last 15 minutes was all City. Transform that really good defence that Guardiola's tactically marshalled well in the opening, 70, 75 minutes, then go all out, nick the couple of goals or so, win the derby, bring back the 3 points. But he's reluctant to change it. It's become stubbornness rather than good tactician for me.
It's kind of like he's got two teams anti-playing. He's got his defensive lineup, and he's thinking to himself, and I probably would as well. We've not conceded here away at home. What can we do changing for? But there still could have been changes up front he could have made. He didn't need to take Fernandinho off he could have pushed Rodri up more or Fernandinho up a little bit more. There's definite changes there that could have been had. I feel that would have made a positive difference. Brian, in hindsight, if you're Pep going back in time, what would you have done differently in that game?
Game plan worked in effect of stopping them really creating anything. So in that respect, I think he got that right. After an hour, if Gundogan was fit enough to be on the bench, I'd have put him on, and that would have given us something in midfield. It was still solid. It would have given us a little bit more creativity, but also would have kept the ball well, and it would have made, because Rodri seemed out of place playing as a left-hand side of three. He needs to be that number 6, the one in the defensive midfield. So I think having him a little bit more adventurous, running around a bit more, I don't think that works. I think that sort of role suited to Gundogan. So I would have maybe introduced Gundogan if he was on the bench, he's fit enough to play, put him in, and then get the ball a bit more, dominate a bit more, open them spaces up, and then you're looking at maybe bringing on. I can't believe he didn't throw Foden on for 5 minutes at the end just to run around. That's my biggest disappointment, is he didn't give Foden 5 minutes at the end.
What would make himself a hero the more that he is?
It meant a lot to him, but think of all the City fans out there that have been waxing lyrical about Phil Foden all week in work and with the fan ways, and he doesn't even get a touch of the ball, doesn't even get on the pitch. The only thing you see of him is warming up, that's it. I think that would have been a disappointing thing, but there's obviously a reason why he's not playing in the minute. I can't put my hands on it, but there's obviously a reason why. And it's not just him.
Demar Nicholson on Facebook, I think Pep didn't want to lose the game and was hoping to get a goal at the other end by individual play. Yeah, I agree. We just... this is kind of a hypothetical question, but if we had a world-class striker, I think we would have won that game. I think we would have made more opportunities, and I think we would have finished the opportunities that we had. Because we did have a couple of chances to score, as did United, to be fair. Dan, what's your thoughts, mate? You're shaking your head.
I don't think that would be the case. I think if we even had Haaland or Lewandowski up front, I still don't think we would have nicked a goal because of the tactics. But, there was the late rush in the last 5 minutes.
Well, we did have 3 big chances to score.
But is that enough for you?
For a world-class striker, I'd like to think one in 3.
Oh no, but I mean for a team, I've never been one of them. One striker's what we need to turn this team into an absolute goal machine. It's always the team performance for me. Mahrez should have easily done a hell of a lot better than that. I just mean in terms of if we had the likes of Lewandowski, for argument's sake, world's greatest current striker at the moment, might have nicked 1 goal. I very much doubt it because there was no support. De Bruyne was knocking balls to absolutely no one. Granted, if Lewandowski might have been there at the end, but everyone else was getting dragged everywhere else. So all their men would have been marking on him only. And the problem is we wouldn't have had anyone else up support because we had too many defensive players holding the back line to make sure we didn't concede.
I'm in the mindset of this was Pep's tactics and to go and pinch 1 or 2 goals. And we just didn't have the whereabouts up front to go and pinch it.
Do you think that if we look back on this fixture towards the end of the season, that we'll be looking back as 2 points dropped or 1 good point gained?
2 dropped. This season's going to be the closest ever season.
You know what? It depends where United finish.
Yeah.
I'd like to think United are going to take some points off some of them big teams at the top.
Yeah.
Especially at Old Trafford, and especially with fans coming back, it's going to give them an edge that they haven't got at the moment. So you could be looking at teams like Chelsea going there. I'm saying that teams that have been there already. I'm not really sure it hasn't, but teams like Liverpool, when they've got to go there, a point might at the end of the day be equivalent to the same sort of point somebody else has gotten, and it comes down to our home form. I'd rather have a point there than a 0.
So let's switch this on its head. We've got West Brom tomorrow night. 8 o'clock kick-off, if I'm right. Dan, it's an 8 o'clock kick-off, isn't it? It's not a silly clock. I'm sure it's 8 o'clock.
8 or quarter to.
So
one of the two.
I think we could both all say now we're not going to play the double pivot tomorrow night because West Brom's not got as much attacking threat as United. Do we all agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try and put our team out and try and work out what team, because we were all very close with the team this week. Very close with the team, weren't we?
One player.
One off.
Very close.
That
Very
was because of
close.
injury, but we did call the injury and the replacement if it did.
And none of you believed that it would be Fernandinho. You said Bernardo Silva. And I got it wrong. I choose Torres over Mahrez. I don't know why. Mahrez is Pep's love child.
So who are we going to see? Are we going to see tomorrow night? Are you expecting wholesale changes? Phil Foden's got to play. Actually, no. I said that against United.
He's got to, though. He really has got to, because the Champions League's over until the new year now. Phil Foden is chomping at the bit for starts. Yes, I was the one arguing, saying he didn't merit a start against United because he didn't perform well in midweek. But he's got to. At least him or Bernardo, one of the two has got to start. We've got to start banging in some goals.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Well,
What's Sergio's situation? Does anyone know where we're up to with him?
apparently he was just rested. That was it.
Did he have a bug? Did he? Is it gastroenteritis, which is like sickness bug, right?
Yeah.
I would have thought he probably wouldn't start midweek.
He trained today.
Did he train? Did he?
Yes. He trained today.
So he'll be on the bench then,
He did.
won't he?
Yeah, perhaps he's going to be on the bench.
I'm really.
Never know.
I realise we didn't lose against United, but there's such a down atmosphere at the moment. We need to try. I'm trying to be positive as I can. We got 0-0. Defensive record is still intact. Ruben Diaz is still looking like a solid machine for us. We can't take the negatives away from this. If we need to go into West Brom tomorrow night and absolutely steamroll them, and I'm sure we will. Does anyone else doubt that we're going to absolutely batter them tomorrow?
Not really.
I'm just a bit sceptical whether or not what you mean by battering. I think
1-0.
what we-
The hammering facility.
I'd like to say, I think we'll absolutely dominate possession, and at this point, I'd just take 1-2-0 and move on. You know, let's see some celebrations again and just move on, because the bigger game is at the weekend for us. The Southampton are a form team, so I think midweek, just get a win, get it ticking over, keep that clean sheet is the most important thing for me.
You think? I think Laney's phone's having a stroke. Is he connecting? How are we doing, Chris? You all right, pal?
Yeah, all right, lads.
You're smiling.
Oh God.
Do you know what? I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let you talk for 5 minutes. Let me know what your thoughts were on the Saturday game.
I'll tell you what, first thing I will say, every time you've said tonight that a point isn't a bad result, your face has cringed.
It is though, isn't it? We could have beaten him. We should have beaten him. I think we've got the team better. I think we've got a better team than them. I just think Pep was just a little bit. I think he lost his balls a little bit with going for it because he didn't want to lose.
Well, as I try and say to the wife, it's only going to be a quickie tonight because I've got work. But, positives.
As always.
Clean sheet again.
Yes.
That's going. Suppose at a push you could say we've got no injuries. Which, to be fair, there wasn't going to be any injuries really. I mean, that game was like watching the Queen get a cervical smear. It was depressing, cringy. You didn't want to watch it, but you couldn't look away either. It was that bad. Everybody knows my opinion on Pep. I'm usually the first one to start slating. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm trying to remain positive.
As a believer.
After that derby, I am giving him until the Brighton game, which I think is the 13th of January.
Okay.
That's I did it on the admin chat. The next 6 games, if he can't get 10 points, then he's done worse than Mark Hughes when he got sacked. So I'm going to take every game as it comes, stay positive. We've got West Brom tomorrow, which we should beat, but then we should have beaten United, should have beaten Liverpool, should have beaten Leeds. You know, you've got Halifax who looks at it and says, well, if we win our game in hand, we're 3 points off the top, which doesn't sound bad. But to me, we should be winning that game in hand and going 6 points clear. It's like, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head, Tom. He's lost his balls. Pep's lost his pep. It's just he looks like a man who's just put his jumper on and found a pluck.
Is this though? Because the City fans were all crying out for Pep to be more tactically aware going into games. Is this not just exactly what I asked for and all the other fans asked for after the Lyon game? Pep doesn't change his tactics. We needed to change his tactics. He's changed his tactics. Now we're complaining about it.
To me, it's not the tactics he's necessarily changed. He's changed his strategy. He's gone from attacking minded to defensive.
Yeah,
and that's where it's gone wrong. You can change your tactics but still be an attacking team. He's not done that. He's now he's dropped his 2 attacking midfielders and gone with 2 defensive midfielders. I know we're saying we won't see it tomorrow, but I won't be surprised if he plays with like Gundogan and Rodri tomorrow, which again is defensive. I can't remember who it was on the page. You know, they made the comment. He said as soon as you've got Fernandinho and Rodri, that's setting straight up to be defensive. You're telling your opponents we're defending against you because we don't want to lose. That's what we used to do 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You know, and we shouldn't be that anymore. 20 years ago, we were, you know, Division 1. The derby was all we had. It was usually a cup game, you know, and that was it. But times have moved on. Expectations have moved on. We should be winning games like that. We should be going in, not scared of anyone. We beat Real Madrid twice last year, for God's sake. You know, the European champions countless times. We should not be scared of anyone. And again, this whole thing about the substitutions, I don't even know where to begin. With one hand, he's whinging that we don't get enough and they need resting. Every City fan's crying, say we need to change. Something needs to change in that game, and nothing happened. And it's not just a one-off. It's happening every single week. Was it the Fulham where he didn't bring on a single sub? It's just he's. I mean, when I do my my breakfast show, I don't even predict the team anymore because I kind of give up on that because it's just like you can't predict what he's doing. So I'll be on with Dan tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll get a win. I don't know what the team's going to be.
Could be anything. Do you think Foden will start?
No. I think it looks like Foden's just that. I don't know why Pep's lost faith in Foden, but it just seems like he only gets chances when it's a cup match.
I think if Foden's not starting tomorrow, there's something drastically wrong. He's got.
You know what I think drastically wrong, but I'm not saying it. I'm being good. I'm being good.
I mean, we have got a lot of players to play for, but we have a lot of games to play. Go on, Brian. What do you say there, pal? Sorry.
I think the thing with Foden comes down to is we spoke about it before. Is what's his best position? You know, he obviously doesn't play centre because I don't think tactically he's aware enough to play a central role at the moment. You know, going forward is brilliant. You can't deny that. But having the defensive nous that some of the players that we've got ahead of him, that they're always going to be selecting in front of him. So you're going to be thinking he's going to have to play out wide. And he usually plays left wing. So, but let's be honest, Sterling's not on the greatest of form, but he's still head and shoulders above Foden in terms of what he can bring to the team.
See, Brian, to me, you've hit that though, mate. You said it yourself. You said that Foden hasn't got the tactical nous to play in central. There's better defensive players ahead of him. Last season, we played with 2 attacking midfielders, and he would slot in instead of David Silva, and he was amazing. Because he was an attacking central midfielder. Pep is now going 2 defensive, so that spot where he would have played in the centre, in his best spot, now doesn't exist because he's dropped it. And you're not going to play Phil Foden over Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, I think
so. Basically, Pep's taken the choice of Foden being able to play away from him, and he's now having to adapt to wherever else.
I think he's just, for me, he's just a forward player now. He'll pop up on either wing and the occasional game in midfield as a 3, where the opponent isn't really going to pose much of a threat, i.e. West Brom. I still don't think he'll start. Something tells me something's not right. Whether he's not putting it in training, I don't know. Something tells me he's not right to be getting no game time whatsoever. I don't know what you guys feel like that about him and Bernardo. Definitely something's not right for those 2 guys not to be getting minutes.
It was the same in the Champions League for me. I mean, I went right off on one on the group chat because there was those 4 young lads from the EDS. The EDS had played in the cup the day before, and arguably their 4 sort of key players, like Doyle, Bernabé, they were all taken with the first team for the Champions League match. The EDS lost narrowly 2-1. I think it was like an 80th minute winner for Tranmere, and they got knocked out of a competition. But they're now not in. And yet none of those EDS lads got a single second of game time. They got nothing from that Champions League game whatsoever. They've all trained with the
I don't
team
think you
before.
can underestimate the importance of travelling with a squad, though, for those lads.
But they've done it before. At the end of the day, they could have played 90 minutes in a cup match, which they would have benefited more from than sitting on the bench in an empty stadium watching a really, really bad Marseille side. It's not like they were playing a decent team where they could have picked something up.
I think
I'd have been fuming.
I see where Brian's going there, but if you would have asked those EDS lads, they'd rather be with a full team squad because that's where they want to be, isn't it? They'd rather be with they'd rather travel and get that experience.
The whole Champions League experience, it's different from what they'll have been through, even if they've been in the league. It's a very different setup, I would imagine. All the official UEFA gears out, everyone's there. To them, it's like the pinnacle, innit? It's playing in European football as a club football is the pinnacle, innit?
You said playing. They weren't playing. They were all sat on the bench.
No, but
They've got a different
More like
bed.
training, yeah.
if those 4 didn't go, who would we have had on the bench?
Well, to me, I would have said to the EDS manager, I'd have said to the EDS manager, pick your best team, pick the team you want to win against Tranmere, and whichever 4 lads you want, who just missed out, we'll take with us.
But the
4 lads who would have got something better from.
senior team will always trump anything in that regard. That ADS team that play in that competition, they're not doing it to win tournaments. They're giving guys game time against grown men. It's what it's basically for. They're getting experience week in, week out playing against adults in games that are meaningful. But for me, I think trumping, getting them into the Champions League squad and then around the team on the day, seeing how other professionals go about their job, it's invaluable. It's sad they didn't get a game, but I feel like as long as it's not happening every week, you don't want these 4 kids not getting game time anywhere. But in a Champions League game, a dead rubber, getting them on the night, getting them with the senior players, with the senior coaching staff, seeing Pep working, seeing his coaching staff working in and out, before training, warming up. I think that's invaluable for those lads.
They're not going to start every game, are they? Have we got another? We're done have a Champions League, aren't we? We play in February, I think, don't we? What's your thoughts on the draw, lads? Usama, we'll go with you first, pal. What's your thoughts?
Well, they're not a team to be taken slightly, that's for sure. They've given Madrid a lot of trouble. So yeah, I know that Madrid have not been at their best lately, but I think that they're a team to be respected.
So just to give everyone a rundown on the last 16, we got Borussia Mönchengladbach versus City, Lazio Munich, Atletico versus Chelsea, Leipzig versus Liverpool, Porto Juventus, Barca PSG, Sevilla Dortmund, Atalanta, Real Madrid. There's some cracking games there, isn't there?
I'm happy with Leipzig
Sure,
against
yeah.
Liverpool.
Angelino, yeah, I agree with that. And Atletico versus Chelsea, that'll be a tasty one as well for the Chelsea boys.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to shoot off. All I can say is happy with the Champions League draw. I'm confident against Gladbach, and let's hope we get a win tomorrow.
All right, lady. Catch you later, pal. Have a good night at work.
All right, see you later, guys.
Take care, pal.
Bye.
Take care.
Later.
So, Dan, give us your thoughts on the draw, mate. What's your feelings towards it?
Not happy. Not even slightly happy with it. Because I know when we come round to doing our post-match comments on the page, you've got to spell Mönchengladbach for crying out loud. I can't spell my own name. Nah, in all seriousness, I'm happy with that result. Of all the teams in that draw, I think they are probably the best one for us. Easiest for us either way. You can't take any team as lightly in the Champions League anymore. But we played them, 2 years ago in the group stage, battered them at home, Aguero hat-trick. No reason why we can't go through, but at the same time, we said that about Lyon, so I'm happy with the draw. I'm confident. There's a lot of good tasty ones around that will knock out some of the other big teams. So You just got to look to the positives and hope for a good win.
When does it happen? Is it after this round where they draw the quarters and the semis straight away, so you can see the progression of where you'd play?
Yeah.
Is it after this one?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, and this is a two-legger, if my memory serves right, isn't it? Right. Okay. Smashing. So again, we'll see what Pep's doing with the lead up to this. So we've got till February, so we've got a good couple of months, month and a half, maybe 2 months, to see what Pep's doing in the Premier League and see if his formations change and his tactics change in the Premier League games with the run up to the Mönchengladbach game. There's no easy game in this. I know a lot of City players, City fans on Twitter, are really happy about this, and Facebook, really happy with the draw, because like you said, it could have been a lot worse. But every game's going to be a test for us, isn't it, Brian? What's your thoughts, pal? We've got to beat them, haven't we? There's no this has got to be our season this year. We've got to be going for this.
I mean, yeah, of the ties we could have got, it is probably the easiest. They're not having the greatest seasons themselves. They're pretty much like us in like 8, 9. You know, they're not far away from the top. But of all the ones we could have, if you could have handpicked anybody, it probably would have been one of the two. It would have either been Lazio or Borussia Mönchengladbach. I don't know if we would have been able to pick Lazio or not. I can't remember the pots, but we have to. I mean, like Dan says there's some good teams going to be going out. You know, look at your Chelsea, one's going there. Liverpool, Leipzig, one's going. Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, another one's going there. You know, so you're going to be looking at that, and being in the last 8 of those, it's a picking really from there. It's to get that. This game is massive in terms of getting into that at last, like you said, the quarter-final, then the semi-final draws. You know what you're up against, then you can work from there. You know, if we get through this, we could end up. I don't care who we get. You just know it's on paper, and we're going to get 5 games to get to win it from there.
Oh, it's going to start. Do you know it's going to start building up again, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to the Champions League this year. I'm a bit apprehensive because we're not going to bring a striker in January, and we're not scoring as many goals. Saw an interesting stat about Mendy before. Well, some people love Mendy, some people hate Mendy. City's goals scored Premier League this season, with Mendy playing 13 in 5 games, without Mendy playing 4 in 6 games. So is he that much of an influence on the pitch where actually we're getting more goals with Mendy going forward? Because he's a threat going forward, isn't he? Whether you like him or not as a player, he's obviously that threat there. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Teams faced with Mendy, teams faced without Mendy, complete different contrast. You know, Cancelo's been our main left back for the bigger games. I like Mendy. His heart is in the right place. I just think, well, I don't use the word lightly. I think he's just thick. And that's coming from Mendy. There's just something about him. He has
got that bit of there's chicken about him, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, no. Just on and off the pitch. I'd love a Benjamin Mendy that comes into training every day. I'm sure he does. Just concentrates on training. None of this malarkey, messing about, Instagram, whatever, on his phone or whatever. You see it every day. He's like the Balotelli, but just a little bit more subsided. Just get on the training pitch, work your backside off, prove your number 1 choice left back, prove it in the game at full-time whistle. Get in that dressing room, get changed, and go back out and do a few runs. Just concentrate on football. None of this lifestyle thing. He's been in the media recently about his 450 grand Lamborghini being impounded because he's driving like a lunatic about insurance. He needs to just stop being sidetracked by the luxury of being a Manchester City player and be a Man City player. Be a City player. Someone who gets their head down and plays proper football and just concentrates on football. And I think that's the one thing that's putting me off about him, because he's not doing that. He's got it in his locker. He really does have it in his locker, but he doesn't bring it enough for me. And that's why I've said before, even when we signed him, I never rated him more than just bang average mid-table Premier League team, top Championship team player, because he hasn't showed it consistently enough, even for Monaco for me. And he needs to, because I am losing. I don't like saying it because I rate every City player until they leave. I am losing faith in him massively. and I don't like saying it, but just
think-
fingers crossed he can turn it around.
I think the phrase that you're looking for there is he needs to be reminded of his responsibilities.
Yes, yeah, without a
He needs
doubt.
to be reminded of his responsibilities. I think for me, when it comes down to Mendy, is I don't think you can underestimate how gutting it must be to make this big money move to City, where he was flying at Monaco. He was in around that
For
French
one
first
season, I
team.
might add. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
argument. It's only been for one season.
No, he was a big physical unit. He was quick. He was lightning that wing, and to have 2 injuries like that, to come back from that, I mean, there's not many who can.
No.
So he's obviously. I don't think we'll ever see the Mendy we wanted to get, which is a shame. But if we can get half decent out of him for another year or so, move him on, we'll have got some money out of him. We'll have helped him get back to get his fitness back up. So I think that to me it's sad. The way that injury is, it reminds me of when was it Bodjanov we signed years
Oh
ago.
yeah, I love
He was
Bodjanov.
good. I
Yeah,
went, what a quality player, and then literally his knees crumbled, didn't they?
I remember running through on goal, and you just saw him hopping, didn't you? It's, oh mate.
It always makes it sad when you get somebody who's got so much talent and then it's taken away with injury, and he can't, and you guys know if something happens like that, he's never going to come back the same. He'll try. Some people won't try, but Mendy is trying.
Well,
He's up against it bad.
let's just have a bit of a chat about Mendy. He's 26. He's still got a lot of time left in him. So let's not rule him out just yet. However, his market value has dropped significantly. 2018 he was valued at 40 odd million quid. 2019 31 million quid, and his value at present day is 25.5 million quid. So his value's dropped massively.
Let me put a question to you. Would you give him a new contract, which is due up in the next season, right?
2023 he's here till. So he's got another 3 years.
2 years, 2 and a bit years. Would you give him a new contract?
No, not at the minute. Not at the
Need
minute.
to prove it. He needs to prove it. Right now, Cancelo is our best left back and he's a right back. Zinchenko defensively is better than Mendy. Angelino
Ake.
out on loan. Ake, yeah, exactly. Ake, he's fantastic as a left back, and I know he's played couple of times for the Netherlands and Bournemouth, but we don't want to be doing this versatile makeshift players. We want a left back who's a left back, and Mendy's just dropping out big style.
It's frustrating, that, isn't it? Because I don't want to rule him out just yet. He's got 3 seasons left with us, or 2.5 seasons left with us. So if he stays injury free and pushes on, he could be back to best again. He could do a John Stones.
You want to see him playing.
Yeah, week in, week out. Yeah, smash it.
About 3 games, 6 games in a month. You want to see him doing that, and he's not going to play every game well, but you want him to be there and thereabouts and in the game, and having a positive influence. Because, like you said there, his stats don't lie. We are a more attacking threat with him in the team.
I have to say one thing regarding him, though. I think is that what you were saying there. You would love to see him in a consistent role. I think that's where the downfall comes in with Pep. He won't get game in, game out under Pep Guardiola. Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva don't get that. You get Mendy getting that with Cancelo, Ake, Zinchenko, possibly Angelino unless he signs permanently. Mendy's not going to get that run of games.
But Kyle Walker was in a situation where he signed Cancelo and he was thinking he's not going to get games. Is he going to play week in, week out? Look at Kyle Walker now. He's arguably with the first name on the team sheet as a fullback.
Cancelo's coming up though. Cancelo's played a couple of times as right back this season. He's really impressed me.
I don't think Cancelo would knock him out of the team. So you got
give it half a year. I think he would. I think the only reason he's not challenging him is because we struggled with left back. From what I've seen of Cancelo at right back so far this season, I'm liking him a little bit more than Walker. He's got just something different about him. I don't know what it is, but
well, the thing is that Walker's got, which everyone knows, is that lightning pace to get back. He's right in it.
He's strong. Walker's one of the first names. I know he had a bit of a mare on Saturday, giving the penalty away, which wasn't a penalty, but you know what I mean.
Does that often, doesn't it?
He does that. So it wasn't surprised when I saw it. I think I love Walker. I think he's one of the first names on the team sheet for me. I don't think it'd be fair to Walker to up him for Cancelo. It's just an easier option to put Cancelo at left back because there's nobody challenging him at left back. I don't think there's a point of upsetting the apple cart there.
Tell you one thing with Cancelo, I'd like to see him as a winger. just for a
Yeah,
game.
he's definitely he's definitely got midfield quality. He's really
But he
good
can
on
find
the
the back
ball.
of the net.
Yeah,
He can find the back of the net. He's such a good dribbler on the ball, and the ball control from him is second to none for a fullback. I'd love to see him a more forward role. Plenty of left backs that do it, right backs that do it, should I say?
can't disagree with that. He's 26 as well. He's played at right midfield, right back, left back. So yeah, right midfield he's played in the past. So why not? Absolutely, why not? Contract expires in 5 years. Got another 5 years of him. That's quite reassuring. Didn't realise we signed him for that long.
I think having somebody like Cancelo, though, who is that utility player in so many positions, is so good. You know, you see, you put him in at left back, and he just looks like he can play left back. Put him in at right back, he can do a job there. I guarantee if you put him on the right wing instead of Mahrez, you wouldn't have ever thought he's never played right wing before. He is a good pro, you know, a really good professional footballer, and I reckon he could do a job central midfield as well. To be fair, he's got that sort of makeup about him, hasn't he, where he could probably play anywhere and do it right, do a shift.
Done it a couple of times in cutting in midfield. He does look solid. He's like the James Milner of old, really, isn't he? Just obviously Portuguese and a little bit more of a. But that's the argument for me, though. I've seem to be in the proper down in the dumps this whole podcast about players, but that's the one thing I know. I was the one who said I want to see him more forward, but I don't at the same time, because I'm sick of this versatility and having these utility type players that can fill in anywhere. I want two players at every position that challenge each player and just put in a good performance, you know, makeshift players for makeshift positions. I don't want that anymore. We've had it enough. You know, we had it with Fernandinho last season at centre-back, and I know his hand was forced, Pep, but we missed him massively in midfield. I'm not saying it's the same with Cancelo. You know, Cancelo could do them roles perfectly, but I don't know. I think I'm just going off on a bit of a tangent there.
It's funny about Cancelo. He started 64% of the starting 11 of the games we've played this season, 64% of the minutes, so he's completing 100% of the games, 5% goal participation. I like Cancelo. I think he's a really good footballer, and it would be interesting to see him in midfield, but it's never going to happen. It's like Zinchenko, that. It's just not going to happen, is it? I think he's needed more in defence than anywhere else.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Zinchenko? We're still on Zinchenko gate, aren't we? Brian, what's your thoughts? Do you think he's done now at City?
I think being done's quite harsh, but you got to look at it practically. Is he fourth choice left back on a good day? Is he? You know, and he was always touted as this attacking player that plays at left back. He's never going to get a game anywhere up the pitch. If he can't get Foden or Bernardo Silva into that front three, Zinchenko's not going to get many games. Strangely, he's the captain of his country. He can't get a game for his club. It's, you know, would he be able to do a job in midfield? I don't think so.
I think for his own career, he needs to leave City.
I think, but you'd love to see him being so passionate about his position at City, and obviously he's come out of nowhere from a team that, you know, he's forged himself a potential career somewhere else. But for the sake of his own career, like you say, Tom, he's got to. Now it's like he should be looking at it saying, do I want to be part of a squad, 25-man squad, and play 10 games a season starting, or do I want to be out somewhere, you know, making my own career? I think for the lad and for the sake of his own career, I think this is his last season. Do you know
he's only 23? I thought he was older than that. Don't know why.
I just think it's end of the season, use him as much as we can, all we need to, and then
14 more games and I win the bet against Tom.
It's not happening, mate. He's not going to start that many games. I'm telling you. Just give me the money now.
He'll start against West Brom.
I don't think he will. I think there's better people in the team. Even our understudies for first team are better. I just can't see. Where's Zinchenko starting for you tomorrow night?
Left back.
Over Mendy, over Cancelo?
No, left back in changing rooms. You know what Pep's like. Nah, Mendy will start without a doubt. Needs to. Are we doing teams now?
Yeah, let's do teams. We'll shoot off. It's only a quick one tonight. So we're going with Ederson, Brian Usema. Who are you thinking for our defence tomorrow night?
I think you'll go with Kyle Walker, Diaz, Stones, Mendy.
Okay. Do you think he'll play Laporte?
No.
Do
I
you
think
not?
he'll play Ake.
Ake at left back, maybe. See, there's so many options for us.
I think now he's starting to appreciate and see the value in consistent starting 11s. Finally. You know, look at what he's getting out of John Stones and Kyle Walker on that side of the pitch. They're consistently every week now.
And it's funny you say that. He did make a comment the other day, didn't he, about Laporte, and it works up to John Stones to not have a good game. So
Well, you stay in the team, so they play well. Well, let's be honest. That defense in the derby the other day, solid.
Yeah.
So, barring rotation through fitness, they've got to stay together.
So you think Cancelo or Mendy then at left back? Cancelo.
I think he will put Mendy in just for a game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And we're not going double pivot tomorrow, are we, lads? We can't, can we? Rodri's going to start. Usama, what do you think, pal?
I'm guessing Rodri and Gundo.
Rodri and Gundo, yeah.
Yeah, with De Bruyne probably.
Any advances
That's the
on
best
that, lads?
Rodri, Bernardo Silva, KDB.
Bernardo.
I think in terms of the only one that might change is whether or not Gundogan's fit. If he's not fit, then can't see him going with the same three. So I think he would probably put Bernardo in there.
Okay, that's fine. So we've got Rodri, KDB, Gundo or Bernardo. That's fine. Up front, we're starting Jesus again, aren't we? There's
No.
Yeah. No, you're not thinking of Jesus?
No, I'm going for Sterling. Ferran Torres up front.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Sterling up front, Ferran Torres on the right, and Phil Foden out on the left.
Yeah, I put Foden in as well.
The thing is, that's awful though. I want him in midfield.
Who? Foden.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, lads? Are we happy with that?
I can't see him dropping Jesus. It sends out such a bad message.
I can't see him dropping him either.
He's your only fit number 9, and you put him on the bench for a wing guard.
Yeah, for me, it's Foden, Sterling, and Jesus, and bringing Torres on. I just can't see. I can't see him dropping.
I think it'd be Mahrez, Jesus, and Sterling.
I think Mahrez as well.
Yeah.
This is what Pep's done, lads. All of us have got different choices.
Going off what Pep said if you play well, you'll stay in the team, and it's not like he hasn't played well. Sigley was playing the worst against United, so.
I think we need wingers.
You think we're going wingers?
I think we need wingers, not inverted wingers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what we need.
Where are West Brom in the
Against
league? Oh Christ, the second to bottom. The 19th. Lost. Their record is only as bad as Sheffield United, who lost as many in the bounce. We've got to be steamrolling these guys. I'd love to see Torres play tomorrow. I love him up front, but I don't think he'd start him. I think Jesus will start. Can you see Sterling getting a rest tomorrow? Is there any argument for dropping Sterling? Because he's not been electric.
On form, you can argue to drop him. Yeah, of course.
And put Torres in there.
But form doesn't cut it, does it? It's how I do it in training, and it's what at the moment Sterling's playing off the past, and he's getting that team based off what he has done.
Yeah,
he's running out of those days where he's playing off past glories, but you've got to. You can't look at his goal involvements and goals over the last 3 years for City. You can't not have, when he's available, you're one of your most attacking, potent players on the pitch. Especially when we're struggling for goals. You know, it's easy to highlight how many times he's missed a sitter or he's had a bad touch. You know, in that derby, that first 5 minutes when he burst in that corner, you're thinking, go on, son, and he's touched it, ran straight out of play. They are highlighted more the longer he goes without scoring. So,
right, lads, we're going to leave it there. I want your predictions before you go, though. Usama, we'll start with you. What are you thinking, pal?
5-0.
5-0. Yes, love that. Brian,
I'm being optimistic.
I like it. Nothing wrong with that.
4-0.
Yes, Dan.
Are we at home?
Yes, I think we are.
Yeah, we are.
6-0.
Oh my word! 4 5s and 6s. It's gonna be a 1-0 West Brom masterclass, isn't it?
It is.
Ripping the City pivot apart.
Probably, yeah.
On a side note, before you go, Dan Halifax mentioned this before. If COVID is a bit more friendly to us doing this, obviously we would not go against this. But when David Silva plays United in a few months' time, let's City fans give the coach with David Silva a guard of honour going into Old Trafford. That's going to be absolutely chaos, isn't it, if we did that? Oh, I can't see it though. Can't see it.
It's not like there's not much going on a Thursday night for City fans, is there? So.
That's it, absolutely. No, there's no Emmerdale on. There might be, I've not watched it for a long time. Right, lads, we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for joining. Anyone else got anything to add before we go?
Just remember to join me and Laney and possibly Tom, maybe you might jump on.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pre-match show at 6 o'clock. So if anyone wants to join on, come and have a chat to us, and we'll probably be online for when the team news gets dropped, so we can absolutely rip apart our team from tonight. And Dan and Laney, you're doing the commentary for tomorrow night, are you?
Yep, we're the true Mopson and whoever.
Fantastic. rather than Carragher and Neville.
Oh, don't get me started on that again. You saw the argument earlier.
Right, we're going. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll speak to you soon. Cheers, lads. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone.